Hello YouTube and hello viewers, and welcome back to yet another episode of creating our online community project. My name is Wayne and I've been taking you for all these amazing episodes so far. Again, thanks very much for all of you that are dropping me messages with problems that you haven't. I don't mind answering them, so yeah, drop them as much as you like. I'll help you as much as I can with any information that you do need for the project. So today, there's a few things I'm going to take you through. Number one, I've updated your homework section. So for those lazy people that didn't do their homework, I've actually done it for you. That will be in the link below. So if you guys want to update your game info, I'll show you what it looks like in a second when I change over screen. So don't worry about that. I will show you what that does look like in a second. But what we're also going to look at today is we're actually going to start constructing our main menu screen. Remember, I'm not the best with making things look good in regards to widgets, but as long as the functionality is there, that's all we really care about during these episodes. So if you want to be creative, you be creative, but in this case, we're just going to keep it as simple as we'd like. Okay, so let's get straight into it. So where we left off last time is we finished off the login widget. So we got to a point where after this user key, we printed off a few things, and then we managed to change level. Now, what I've done is I've actually just deleted that off. I had to do some testing. I normally do have an alternative test project that I use, but for some reason that corrupts, so I've been using our main one. So I've actually deleted everything that was extended off this set. You don't, I mean, you're gonna have to remove it for this session, but again, what you do after this, so remember this was just saying the print string, and then I think we had woohoo there, I think it was, to say that the user was logged in. Okay, and then we had a lot of other stuff going off the end of that. So all I did is I just removed all of that, stripped all the way back to where we finished off on our set, and yeah, we're just going to work off this little section here. So what we need to do, first of all, I'm going to show you the update to the homework. So if we have a look at the gameinfo.php, you can see it's slightly changed. I've added the security features in because it was very open to SQL injections and all sorts of dodgy things that we don't want the game to happen. So I've increased the security a little bit. You can see it's a little bit different. For example, we echoing a JSON encode instead of echoing each part of the JSON feedback. Here we could echo something else out here if we wanted to, but there's no need to do that. I just did it so we can see if the password does equal the hash password to verify, and then obviously we get our information back just like we did below. So that's really just the update. I will stick this again into the description below so you can download it, update yours if you like, and you can use it. I can show you it working. So let's just print the string here just so just print the string. Woohoo. Okay, remember also you've got to update your register information. So if you did change your registry, so the register, remember to uncomment that, so it should look like this if you're just using default. So you can undo that. All I did at the end of this, I just put this cost 12 here. It's not necessary, but yeah, I just put it in just again for more security measures. It's really up to you if you want to put that in. It's not much of a you know, it's not going to affect anything. It's just more security. And basically all I did is I changed where we had the upass there back to my new password, and that would then make a new password into the system, which will then give it that big hash information that we had before. So I already made a user with my new credentials. I called that test6, so we can actually see that working. So test6, and if I put in the password, which was test6, and log in, it should work. It should say woohoo. There we go. So it does work. If we have a look at the database, so let's just get the database open. So php my admin, just to show you that it is hashed, so I'm not lying to you. Just 1 second. I should really log all these in first before I start. Log that in, go into our YouTube game database. Oh, it's already there. Dope. Users. And if you have a look at test6, you can see the password is hashed already. So it is reading the actual password that you put in against the hash, and it does work correctly. So yeah, grab that if you need it. I would suggest you do grab it. That way we can have more security in your system. Okay, so with all that out the way, let's go back into Unreal. And as I said, we're going to start making our menu system. So let's go into our widgets folder, and we're going to create a new widget. So we're going to go right click, use interface, widget blueprint. I'm just going to call this w_main menu, I suppose. Or you could call it landing, you could call it whatever you like. In this case, we're just going to call it main menu. Just double click on it, and I'm going to do something very simple on this. I'm not going to go absolutely crazy onto this. So we're just going to put, I don't know, let's put a text box here. Let's just fit this in. And I'm just going to call this Wazza main menu. So that's the name of our game. It's really amazing. Let's just fit that in. Okay, remember we can use this to centralize it if we want. Okay, we're going to put some buttons in. I'll explain what those buttons are for in a second. Just put some text into that. Let's make it a bit bigger. Alright, so just put some buttons in. So we're just going to copy that and paste that and paste it again. So we have 2 of them. So there's 1, there's 2, and 3. Okay, so this one here is we're going to, if we give it the name of servers, or we can say online servers. Okay, so once the user clicks that button, it will open up another widget that will see all the online servers, so we'll get a list of servers working. This one here could be, I don't know, what could we call this? Let's call this, I don't know, let's just call this single player, if you put single player into the game. So we'll have that as single player. Actually, let's have that as start MP game. So actually, you could actually start the game and your friends can join your game if you want to do that. And then this one we'll just have as quit. That'll do for now. Whoops, I spelled that wrong. So quit. And we're not going to program these buttons in this tutorial. Oh man, what's going on, Wayne? So we're not going to do anything in this tutorial with those buttons. It will be in future ones, but for now we'll just leave it as that. What we're going to put in as well, just to see if everything's working, so information that we get back, is we're going to put a text block. And we're just going to copy this and paste that underneath. So paste it. So we have 2 of these. I'll explain why. So we'll have that one there. So this one's going to be, we're going to call that kills, just so we can get information. And I'm just going to put a placement in here. So I'm just going to say p_kills, just for placement kills, because we're going to change that in a minute. And then we can obviously select both of these, copy that, and paste it again. And that way we have, again, 2 more. And this one's going to be, as you guessed, for wins. So we can call that wins. And that's going to be p_wins. Okay. Let's get them all centralized, so at least that doesn't go all over the screen. So let's put these all in. Like so. Remember, I'm not doing a lot to detail. I'm just putting stuff in so we know where everything is and if everything's working how we want it to work. So, yeah. I mean, you can make it look fancy with graphics and all sorts of things like that. By all means, you can do that. Okay. And let's put another text box. Let's just say here, and we could, we'll call that placement_username, so they can see their username. So placement username, and we put another text box underneath that one, and we could put the email address there, I suppose, if you want. So p_email. So all those things that we did in videos before this, we started putting all that, grabbed all that information through our game instance. We're just going to print off so you can see it all working. I mean, you could put a news feature here if you wanted to. I can show you to do that if you want to know how to do that. We can just pull information about the news of the game, like things like updates, stuff like that. We could put that all inside there. Okay, so let's just compile and save. And now we need this menu to show when, for example, once the user's logged in, we want that to show. Now it's very easy to do this. So we're going to say remove from parent. So we want to remove this current widget, so the login. So we want to get rid of that. and we don't want the user to see that one anymore. And then we're going to create a new widget. This is really easy, this step. So we're just going to create a new widget. And the widget we want to create is this main menu. Okay. And the owning player is going to be the player controller. So we're going to get the player controller. And once that's done, we want to add that to the viewports. Okay, so we're going to add to the viewports, and we're just going to plug the return value into the target. All right, and that's pretty much set up. So let's test this. So let's play, and if I type in test6 and test6 and log in, that should log us in and take us to our new menu. Okay, where we'll be able to, obviously if everything's working correctly, they can see the screen, and this is where the game pretty much starts from this main screen itself. So let's just close out of this. So let's quit out of that, and let's work on this main menu system. All right, so the very first thing we need to do is we need to get all the information from our game instance. So this one here. Okay, so you can see we've got status, username, emails, banned, kills, wins, and all sorts of weird things going on there. So what we can do is on our main menu, on our graph, we need to construct some information so we can get this. Alright, so this function that we made, we need to call that so we can get all the information about that user. Alright, so on the event construct, we're going to cast2, and mine's called game instance YouTube, so whatever it's named here, you want to cast to that. And the object's going to be the game instance, so get game instance. Right, so you want to get the game instance. And once we've got casted to that, we want to get this, the user information. So we're going to get user information, and basically we're just going to plug as that into the target. And that's pretty much that for what we're going to do for the construction of this. So we just say construct, or actually we're going to say get users information. Right, so this is all just going to get the user information. We don't have to run that over and over again, so it's a very good idea just to construct it off the bat. It makes it a lot more easier for our menu system. So once we've done that, we're going to go into our designer, and all we need to do is just fill in the blanks here. So the username, email, kills, and wins. We're going to see if that's working. So let's click on username where it says text. So we just named a P username for now. We're going to bind something, so we're going to create a binding. And basically, we're going to set the binding up. So this is actually a function. And basically, that function is going to get our username. I think that was our first one, wasn't it? Was a username that we clicked on? I can't remember now. Yes, username. Okay. So, very easy. Just undo this node by Alt and clicking. Drag off here. I'm just going to say cast2 game instance YouTube. Alright, and we're going to get the game instance, so get game instance. Okay, it's pretty much the same thing over and over again, so I'm actually just going to move this below. And what we want to do is we're going to plug that back into our return node. And all we want to do is off the game instance YouTube is we want to get the username. Oops, get username. Once we got that, we can plug that in. Okay, compile and save. Now let's just copy this because we're going to be doing that over and over again. So let's go back to our designer, onto our email. We're going to bind a new binding. Just drag that to the side. Paste. We'll do exactly the same thing again, but this time we're not going to get the username. We're going to get the person's email, plug it in, and save. Then our next one we're going to do, I keep doing that for some reason, instead of going to designers, we're going to get the kills. We're going to bind. I'm going to do the same thing again. So we're just going to bind. And we'll just, oops, plug that into there, and that into there, and that into there. But this time it's not the username, obviously. We're going to get kills. Plug that in to, oops, yeah, that's not going to work. Let's delete that out and plug that in, and that'll convert it to text for us. Compile and save. And the last one, oh, I did it again, oh my goodness. And the last one I'm going to do is get the wins. So these are just things that we're grabbing off the information we wanted. So let's create another binding. Control V. Drag that into there, drag that into there. Delete that out. Delete that out. And this is get wins. And plug that into there. Okay, so that's pretty much setting up what that's going to look like in regards to kills and wins and etc. So let's see if that's working. So let's play, and if I say test 6 and test 6 and log in, should take me to my new screen, and it should pop with the user information. So you can see there's a little bit of a delay because it does need to get the information. I mean, you could set it up to the menu system to wait until that comes up, but you can see it is working. That we've got test 6 is email address, and obviously kills and wins. A little bit scrappy. We could fix this up a little bit more. So we could say welcome blah blah blah. So let's do that. So let's go back to this one's binding. So go back into there. So remember we used that thing called append. We can do the same again. So just drag off here and say append. Oops, no we can't. Why can't I append? Append. There we go. So let's untag that, and we could say welcome space username. Plug that in. So basically just saying welcome and then the username there. So let's see if that works. So test 6, test 6, log in. So we got welcome, and you can see that it pulls the rest of the information that we want. So you can see welcome, and then it cuts off because it's not big enough for the information. And you can see the person's email address is there. The kills and wins are already set to 0 because that's what it's like in our database. So let's say if I change information in the database. So I'm under test 6 here. Let's change this kills to, I don't know, let's change it to 100 kills. Let's do 100 kills there and say go, just to save that information. Go back into the game. You'll notice that it doesn't refresh the kills at all because I haven't set it to keep checking or redoing that game instance over and over again. So, but if I did happen to log in again, so there's a lot of testing in this to make sure that it's working correctly. So we'll test again, and we should have pops. There we go. So you can see he's got 100 kills. Obviously his name's Test. That's his email address, and he's got 0 wins. So that pretty much brings us to that making of the main menu. We're going to get these working. So we're going to be able to get this set up. Again, these are going to be some more widgets. We probably start with this one first because we can make a quick listen server. So friends will be able to join directly into your game through this. Or we could do that if needs be. We could put something in here to connect by IP if you wanted to. That's fine. We could do that. Or if we click on this, you should be able to see some stuff going on in here. Now, just before we get started, or before I start the next video, it's very important that all of you download Steam, because we are going to make this Steam orientated. So we are going to set this up for Steam. So it's very important that you do download Steam, make an account. Even if it's a test account for now, that's fine. It's just a lot more easier if you make multiplayer systems with Steam. It makes things 100 times more easier. So yeah, download Steam, get that, and then we'll move into our next episode. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. It basically was just setting up our main menu, making sure it links together so we update our text and our information that we require. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So again, thank you very much for joining me for this session. My name's Wayne. It's been lovely taking you for this episode, and I will see you in the next one. So if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you really like my channel, subscribe. But if you really like my channel, don't hesitate to drop a donation to my channel. Thank you very much, and goodbye.